This is a brief intermission in the Who is the Kosher Jesus video discussion series. I'm driving, as you might be able to intuit, so I'm probably not going to be looking at the camera. I hope that means that I hope that doesn't indicate that I'm not giving you my full attention, which is somewhat true. I am driving, so if I give a lot of ums and ahs, then please forgive me. It's related to the fact that I'm driving. But one thing that keeps coming up, particularly on Orthodox message boards, in response to the Kosher Jesus and the Who is the Kosher Jesus video series responses and discussions and so on, is this silly little comment that everybody seems to think they're so clever in coming up with. Kosher Jesus, what does that mean? That Jesus is suitable to eat? Har, har, har. The thing is that the term kosher, as the people making this joke should realize, does not simply refer to food. It refers to the kashrut of anything. We speak about kosher tefillin or tefillin. We speak about the klafim within them as being kosher, or within a mezuzah, So this, to me, actually says something about the level of observance of the individual. Real observance. I don't mean showy observance, because everybody, of course, pretends like they're very observant when they go to shul. On Boker Shabbat, people go and, look, I'm religious. In fact, I had somebody say to me, when I was talking about not a period of my time that I did not belong to a synagogue. And I hadn't explained my reasons why, but they assumed that it was because I wasn't particularly observant. I then surprised them, telling them, describing my level of observance, particularly with regard to kashrut. Meticulously kosher. I'm a strict vegetarian. There's kashrut is completely easy for me. So, and when I say strict, I mean strict. I don't mean that I eat cheese from wherever the hell people eat cheese from. I eat very, very strict vegetarian. There's no way there's no chance I would ever eat rennet from the lining of the stomach in my cheese. This is not a concern for me. So then comes out in this conversation, oh, well, we're pretty kosher. But this was a family that was assuming I wasn't very practicing, because for a period of time I wasn't particularly interested in the showiness, and for some reasons wasn't involved in the community. And of course everybody will say, you should not detach yourself from the community, and okay. So but for a number of reasons, I didn't particularly want to be involved on a community level, and some things changed that at various points in my life. And anyway, the irony is that the showiness of observing certain key elements of Jewish practice in public is often associated with Jewish ritual observance and observing the mitzvot. The funny thing is, in Pirkei de Rabbi Natan, the author speaks about nida or nida, depending on one's pronunciation, but Nida speaks about how, actually, this is it's attributed to Eliyahu HaNavi, Elijah the prophet, that he's trying to explain why this woman's husband died in the story in this commentary. But what's mentioned is that with regards to Nida, that it's something that people know nothing about, really. They don't know if you're keeping this. They don't know if you're not. This is something between you and your spouse, and between you and God. And at what level you observe that is between you and your spouse and God. So some of the more difficult aspects of Jewish religious observance are things that are not particularly knowable. So the easier things are the public things. The easier things are very easy to slap on a talit katan, or for someone to just assume that you maybe have one on underneath, like the RE, or just whatever it is. Somebody could assume that you're keeping kosher, and maybe you mostly keep kosher. Maybe you keep kosher when you are at home. Maybe you don't when you go out to eat. All sorts of things like this. Or maybe you do when you go out to eat, and you do when you're at home. But some things you don't check about. Maybe you don't check about cheese. You don't look for whether it's microbial rennet, vegetable rennet, or animal rennet. So what I mean by what this tells me about the individual's level of observance is their association with the term kosher with food, which of course it's most popularly associated with, but it doesn't at all refer to food exclusively, and that so many people on quote-unquote Orthodox message forums and so on think that this is a very witty joke, to me indicates that behind closed doors they're not quite as Orthodox as they're pretending to be. I don't think that this association, this word association, would occur to them. Kosher Jesus, edible Jesus. I don't think that would be how their brain connects the term kosher. And obviously that's not what Rabbi Boteach had in mind when he said kosher Jesus. And I would guess that he didn't even think that somebody would come up with that joke, let alone so many people, because he would assume, well, no, speaking about a kosher Jesus refers to the acceptableness of Jesus. I don't think it would have occurred to him that people who openly profess orthodoxy would in fact not be Orthoprax.